Well, I'd invite Kathy Mullen to come up, and she's just going to bring us a short snapshot of what life is like studying at L'Abri.
Okay, my L'Abri story. I'd like to share briefly on how the L'Abri community has been a blessing to me over the years. To me, L'Abri outdoes itself in the art of hospitality, and it is also a haven for souls seeking sound discussion on any and every topic in a safe and accepting Christian environment. I had first heard of the works of Francis Schaeffer when I was a teenager, attending a Westminster Presbyterian Church youth group. One of the leaders had an impressive library, a home library, where I thumbed through some of Schaeffer's books. I was later on involved in a para-church organisation called Fusion Australia, and at some of the team meetings, we viewed a video series by Francis Schaeffer entitled How Should We Then Live? The Rise and Decline of Western Thought and Culture. This is part of our youth and community work training in seeking to bring a relevant, compassionate and engaging Christian response to issues facing ordinary Aussies. As a creative and artistic sort of person, I was also blessed by reading some of Edith Schaeffer's books, one of which was Hidden Art and also Forever Music. I also enjoyed the discussions in the book Addicted to Mediocrity by Frankie Schaeffer. During my fusion days, I had a friend named Tim. He was a nuclear physicist, and he encouraged me to visit the Swiss L'Abri. At the time, I was struggling with polarising views in relation to the use of spiritual gifts in the church. Tim was a very enthusiastic advocate of the L'Abri work. He was formerly a Zen Buddhist, travelling around Europe seeking deeper spiritual truth, and upon a friend's recommendation, he found himself at the Swiss L'Abri. Alice Potter was the director at the time, and he himself was formerly a Zen Buddhist monk. And through their conversations, Alice was able to lead Tim to Christ. Anyway, during my week at this gorgeous alpine village of Waymo, it was in 1988, I enjoyed marvellous hospitality in between different chalets, and I spent hours in the library listening to messages and teachings whilst I was staring out the window, drinking in the beauty of the Alps. And it was winter and it was all snowy and gorgeous. Now, the audio teachings as well as one-to-one discussions with various L'Abri workers helped me to clarify my questions and resolve personal conflicts. I also savoured the L'Abri hospitality, which was punctuated with incredible attention to detail and artistic expression, like from the table settings to the food preparation and presentation, and also all of the roundtable conversations. And and that's another thing. The L'Abri community takes the lost art of conversation very seriously. And I learnt a lot from the formal table discussions and also socialising with other students of L'Abri, people from all over the world. It was a very exciting time. I've also brought my Swiss L'Abri exercise book from I've still got it. It's quite a treasure, and it, with all my study notes and map of Switzerland and brochures and stuck in chocolate wrappers. So I've still got that, and I'm taking notes today in the same exercise book. In the 90s, while I was living in Sydney, I sought out L'Abri once again. I encountered some problems in my local church. The pastors didn't like all the questions I asked, and they accused me of having an independent spirit. And eventually, to put it really nicely, they released me from the fellowship. It's at the left for the fellowship. And anyway, Frank and Heather Stoopman extended their warm hospitality towards me with weekends at their home in Elderslie in Camden. And all my questions were welcomed. And I also attended a number of weekend seminars and made new friends. These days I enjoy listening to podcasts from the English Library Fellowship, and I like to recommend the work to other inquiring minds. At the moment I have a young lady staying with me named Crystal, and she's staying for a few weeks, and she's studying film and acting in Los Angeles. And she told me the other day that she's continuously challenged with what it means to be an authentic witness in a very spiritually dark industry. And I pray that she will benefit from some of the lecture materials and books, and possibly connect with library workers in the States as helpful resources in her journey to finding her feet in her chosen career. Anyway, thank you.